Sup, you chuckle fuck? It's your boy Dark Raku here with What If Issei had Spiral Energy Part let me say part 15. So yeah, not part 14, part 15. So let me begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up. I don't know how long I'm gonna be doing this, but I'm gonna go do it. And let me begin, okay? So we begin into Issei. Issei is right now kind of, well, giving back the mostly laptop back towards, well, mostly Madaka. Madaka is growling at Issei and telling Issei what the hell did he do. Issei said, "Oh, I didn't do anything, nothing at all." Madaka was about to grab Issei's hand because, well, she doesn't trust him at all to go anywhere. This is where, well, mostly Madaka was about to grab his hand until mostly Issei managed to kind of just slap that away for a little bit and says, "Madaka, I kind of saw your plans. You got to deal with some delinquents. I might be able to help." Madaka says, "No." Issei, "No." Issei says, "Issei, yes." This is where Madaka says, "No." Issei, "Yes." "No." "Wait, why are you going to third person?" Madaka questioned. This is where, well, Issei said, "Because I can." This is where, well, Madaka just right now growls at Issei. Was about to grab his collar instead. And this is where, well, Issei said, "Also, you should probably open your Chromebook and should probably kind of send an email to everyone. So, not to worry them that one person's gonna go take out your army of delinquents." Huh? This is where Madaka opens her Chromebook so fast, or mostly laptop or whatever, and just kind of looks at the email and realizes that Issei did send this. She growls because she also kind of got logged out. This is where, well, Madaka kind of calls out Ren and even Morgi's name out and says, "Can you two right now get your email and right now send an email to everyone in the school and the whole entire student body count about ignore that email." This is where, well, mostly Ren and Morgan says, "What email?" This is where, well, mostly Ren right now checks her phone and sees an email from Madaka's email, and it's none other than saying that one person is gonna go take out the delinquents. This is where, well, mostly Ren says, "Please don't tell me Issei put that there." Madaka says, "Who do you think else right now had my Chromebook for a while?" This is where, well, mostly Ren says, "Damn it, Issei." This is where, well, mostly Morgan switches off and says, "Yeah, Issei didn't change at all, did he? Or did he?" This is where Madaka says, "No, he didn't. Unless, well," this is where Madaka kind of blushes and says, "I mean, he did kind of change. His hair color did change a little bit, but not the point." This is where Madaka just shakes her head and says, "Never mind." Right now, she was also thinking quite dirty thoughts from Issei, and this is where, well, she then just shake those thoughts off, and this is where Issei is running around the school. This is where, well, Issei doesn't actually know where the hell to go exactly. He just knows that there's delinquents, but he doesn't know where the hell they will be at. He wants to just kind of have a good fight. He also needs to kind of figure out where his brother even went. His older brother being what's it called, Jago. Because Jago was with him, but he got teleported. So he's got to find out where he went. He also got to find where, what's it called, Amandax is at. But yeah. But this way, well, mostly he also got to contact mostly the Jaded Emperor about what exactly happened, so he can probably send reinforcements. But this is where, well, he's just going to go first, deal with some delinquents, and then come back to deal with mostly Madaka kind of yelling at him and trying to hit him for the fact that he ignored her request and not to do anything crazy. But then again, Issei always did ignore mostly Madaka's worry half the time. Not much most of the time, but just enough to just kind of go, meh, I don't care too much. But yeah. So we go into mostly Issei kind of walking around, kind of looking around for the damn place and where to go, until he accidentally bumps into someone's head, and this is where, well, they both fall down in an instant. This is where, well, the girl kind of holds her kind of forehead, saying, "Ow, ow, 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 ow." This is where, well, mostly Issei says, "Ow, that hurt again. I should probably start looking around the corner so I don't hit myself again." This is where, well, when Issei opened his eyes, he sees a girl with silverish white eyes, kind of, they're like silverish white, somewhat, but they're silver eyes. Of course, is where, well, she kind of has blackish hair, and of course, reddish kind of tint of like highlights around mostly below her hair, but not the point. Neither. This is where, well, she does have kind of white skin, and this is where, well, she's kind of wearing the uniform that Madaka wears, same with the girl, the female kind of school uniform from this school or whatever the hell it was called. He didn't remember what it was called because he was just making jokes with mostly Jago about maybe he'd be able to get suspended or something. But not the point. This is where, well, we'll see. Right now the girl's saying, "Ow, ow, ow." This is where, well, she managed to kind of smooth her kind of head, mostly her forehead, for the fact that she actually bumped into Issei. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, "Sorry about that." Issei kind of just apologizes to the girl. When he gets up and kind of gives his hand towards the girl just says, no, it's fine. She does grab his hand. And of course, when she kind of does look up, mostly that's how Issei saw her eyes. But of course, when she looks up, she saw, well, mostly she sees a handsome, mostly male, well, kind of looking like someone like 5'8", because yes, Issei did kind of grew a little bit, but not much. 5'8.5", but not the point. But that's work well. He also has tannish skin. His eye color is like goldenish brown right now. But of course, well, his hair color on top of his hair is kind of black, but with some two green highlights. But yeah, he will add more, but that will be later. Of course, he also has necklaces around his kind of like mostly around his neck, like 4 of them entirely. One that's kind of looks like a weird symbol, like a weird silverish what's it called? It looks to be like a silverish kind of feather. So yeah, that's the necklace that has a spell to allow him to be able to speak different languages, of the languages that he needs to be going on missions, but not the point. But of course, then there's the emerald dragon necklace, the black ruby kind of necklace, dragon necklace also. Then there's also the drill necklace in this way. Well, she says, wow, that's a lot of necklaces you're wearing. Issei says, yeah, they're mostly things that I was given, but not the point. This way, well, she nodded and then looks at mostly Issei directly, mostly just closely a little bit, and realized that mostly Issei does not wear the school uniform. This is where she says, you don't have the school uniform. Does that mean that you're not a part of the school entirely? Issei says, about that, I got invited by someone and I kind of got lost. This is where, well, right now the girl says, I see. Who was it? This is where Issei had it to kind of say, I can't remember their name. This is where Issei said, because this is where he keeps rubbing his head, but he can remember her name is Madaka anyway. This is where, well, what's the girl says, oh, okay, what's your name? This is where Issei says, oh, the name's Issei Sano Kuragawa. What's your name? This is where, well, we'll see the girl says, oh, my name is Ruby Rose. This is where, well, Issei kind of, right now, just looks at her and says, what a beautiful name. This is where Ruby blushes, of course, from the fact that mostly this person is kind of flirty, but not much. This is where, well, she just smiles at her. This is where, well, she kind of nodded and just says, yeah, it is. Oh. So, where do you need to go? This is where Issei says, do you know where the delinquents will be at? This is where, well, mostly Ruby says, yeah, why? I gotta go around there. Well, straight there, but then around or somewhere. I can't really remember what the person said if I got lost. This is where, well, mostly Ruby nodded and says, I'll take you to them. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, yeah, take me to them. This is where, well, mostly Ruby decides to just, well, she doesn't understand too much and decides to actually just take Issei. This is where, well, they get to the place and where they have to go, and this is where Ruby says, so, where do you need to go? This is where Issei says, I think I'll be able to handle myself from here. I just gotta look for some stuff and then I'll be going to the place. This is where Ruby nodded and says, okay, then bye. This is where Ruby has to go because, well, she was blushing. Of course, not trying to show off too much of her blush, but of course, also from the fact that mostly they were very close to each other. And he smelled quite nice, which every time she kind of did smell, but it was kind of weird if she kind of like said anything. That's why, well, mostly Ruby just run away and kind of blushing, but yeah, she also bumps into someone. Was mostly when she was running away, she bumped into someone further away from mostly Issei's kind of like location, but not the point. We go into Issei kind of finding where the delinquents will be at. The location. He finds a group of delinquents that are kind of wearing the school uniform, but not proper and like very kind of like fashionable or whatever. They're kind of just like someone's smoking also, and they're kind of saying, huh? Who the hell are you? This is where one of them kind of noticed Issei. Issei said, me? Well, let's see. I am none of your concern. I'm just here to deal with you. Since you see here, did you get an email? This is where, well, we'll see. One of them nodded. Well, one of them understood in what was happening and said, hey, so you're the one that Madaka sends to actually take us out? There's no way in hell that she'll be able to kind of just send someone like you to fight all of us. There was like a total of like 30 dudes there. Some of them were big, some of them were small. This is where, well, but one guy had kind of like a blondish mohawk on top of his head, and this is where, well, he kind of had like these orangey red eyes and says, hey, this is where is the leader, and says, you seriously can't be telling me that this would be the person to be fighting us. This is where the other guy says, yeah, that would be the case. This is where, well, we'll see the leader says, huh, That guy, no way in hell that Madaka, that girl is really naive to believe that she could just send one of her soldiers, one of her puppets to fight against us. Huh. I should probably find her and teach her a lesson. That's where Issei narrows her eyes and says, "What do you mean teach her a lesson?" Oh, what I mean, I'm going to. This is where, well, he was about to kind of keep saying, like, he was about to, like, This is where, well, when he was about to finish that sentence, this is where, well, he got the shit kicked out of him. Literally, Issei appeared right in front of him and didn't hold back anything. He did a Brazilian kick and knocked the fuck out of this person so fast. Think of it like when Mikey knocked Taiju out and what's it called that one season? Mostly when it was in the church. Yeah, mostly Issei clocked this motherfucker out so fast that no one else could see the Brazilian kick. This is where everyone said, "God damn!" Issei said, "Who else wants to just kind of keep talking? I wouldn't mind breaking your fucking necks into millions of pieces. I wouldn't even mind breaking you into millions of pieces neither." This is where everyone gulps and sees Issei's eyes like change from mostly a goldenish brown color to a greenish color. This is where, well, mostly Issei's mostly kind of sending this bloodlust. It's the amount of bloodlust that can probably kill anything that's right now in front of him. This is where, well, all of them gulps and says, "We shouldn't be too scared," one guy said. "We should take him out. Get him." Ah! This is where, well, mostly all of them rushes towards Issei. But Issei easily kind of just kicks people out of the way. Kind of started just mostly... Let's say it again. This is where he says re-taekwondo, what's it called, reversal kicks. This is where, well, he's easily knocking out people so easily. This is where he then switches his kind of style of fighting from martial arts towards mostly re-taekwondo to just karate chops, but into mostly kind of saying no sword style. This is where, well, he then kind of just swings his hands into kind of like karate motion, but they're actually like slicing some of the people's like the other people's body, even though he's not using a knife or any like some kind of sharp weapon, but only his like chops. And this is where, well, mostly people are literally getting defeated in an instant. This is where Issei then changes the fighting style to mostly being a normal fist, like boxing style. This is where, well, Issei started clocking people out left, right, knocking them all out. This is where, well, they were all getting taken out so easily. Issei's fighting skill is so much more stronger than normal, since he can improve super easily, like super fast and super easily during that 1 week of what's it called, training with the Dragon Emperor and the others, because there was someone in the training chamber, but not the point. This is where, well, Issei is much more limber and faster than normal. This is where, well, Issei decides to axe kick one person down to the ground, and then well, mostly then kind of like puts his hand on top of that person when he kind of got knocked down to the ground, kind of like lift himself up and then kick someone in the side of the head, knocking them out. This is where, well, almost all of them were taken out until one dude just started screaming and running away, which Issei didn't like the person just running away, and it was kind of getting mostly giving Issei check marks. So of course Issei, what he did is grab a brick that was literally on the ground. He then kind of like looks and see where the person's going. The person's right now running to the front door of mostly that place. Issei chucks the brick straight towards this guy's head. The guy was about to like open the door, and when he opens the door, the brick flies through the window. The little glass shatters and smashes into this guy's head, knocking him out. This is where Issei says, "Bingo!" Or should I say, not bingo, mostly jackpot. Issei says, "Suck on that, jackass." This is where Issei was kind of grinning like a psychotic psychotic bastard, but yeah. But this is where, well, mostly that happened. This is where, well, let me say, sorry about that. This is where, well, mostly everyone was just shocked, left there dumbfounded, and just seeing, well, that person getting knocked the fuck out so easily. This is where, well, with that happening, let me say it again. With that happening, everyone was just kind of, well, mostly, there was actually some people actually watching this. Actually, a lot of people were actually watching this. The whole fighting skill of one person actually fighting this person. They got an email about like one person fighting against the delinquents. Was some people actually wanted to go record and see and how that would work out. But then they got an email saying that that was a false thing, and mostly someone hacked or kind of got Madaka's information and mostly managed to did a false account or whatever. That's where people decide to just ignore it. But this is where some people were so desperate to actually see if that was a thing. Maybe Madaka would be the one to actually fight against these people. But no, it was actually this black-haired kid with mostly green highlights. They mostly noticed how Ruby, the reddish-haired girl, kind of like highlights reddish-haired girl, kind of let this person kind of roam around that place. Mostly one person notices, Well, not really notice it. They didn't notice Ruby. Never mind. They just kind of noticed the person like easily kicking the shit out of all of them. Even the leader. He knocked out the leader so fast. This is where his eyes were almost glowing green entirely, slick green like a dragon, and he was easily just beating the shit out of them. He mostly looked like a rampaging dragon, taking them all out. This is where, well, mostly Issei is right now just sitting on top of the, what's it called, like, on top of the leader, and not thinking what to do. This is where, well, Issei says, well, I took out these guys. Maybe I should go back to see where Madaka would be at. Or maybe I can just lie saying that they got knocked out by the wind. Yeah, maybe I should say that. This is where, well, she then, well, not she, mostly Issei hears someone screaming out his name. And this is where Issei turns around and sees Madaka right now in rage. Which mostly is the first time to actually see her in rage. Well, not in rage. Well, he has seen multiple times how Madaka got angry at him. Mostly sometimes when he's in middle school. When he was in middle school. But has never seen her truly be fully enraged. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, hey, Madaka. This is where before he can even do anything, he gets tackled down so fast by Madaka. This is where she was crying and worried for Issei again. Issei says, what are you crying about? Issei was right now on the ground. Of course, well, she was hugging him, and of course, tears were falling down from her face onto Issei's kind of like face. This is where, well, mostly Madaka says, can you not do anything so fucking crazy for so many fucking minutes? This is where, well, mostly Issei said, huh? But why, Madaka? I was just helping you. You say you're helping me, but you sometimes always get hurt in middle school. I'm just worried about you. Stop being such an idiot. This is where Madaka said cryingly. Still crying. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of looks away from Madaka's face, and this is where Madaka says, Issei, look at me. Issei looks at her, and this is where, well, mostly Issei's goldenish brown eyes are still mostly piercing into kind of darker brown eyes from Madaka. Madaka was still crying. This is where, well, Madaka says, please stop this. Stop what? I'm not doing anything. Stop fighting people. Stop going after fights and stop trying to just fight against anyone who seems to be such a threat and pissing you off. That's what, well, Issei says, no, that's not, this is what, well, Madaka says, promise me. Issei says, sure, I promise you. This is what, well, Madaka says, I know you're lying, but I can't just. This is where, well, mostly Madaka just keeps hugging him and just says, but I just want you to stop it, okay? I know you won't stop. Even if you say you promise, you always will break those promises that we made when we were younger. Issei remembers them now, and this is where, well, Issei does remember that he broke so many promises, and this is where, well, Issei sighs and says sorry. This is where, well, his voice was now kind of deeper and much more kind of like saddened about what he did. This is where, well, mostly Madaka just says, it's fine. This is where, well, she kind of gets up and kind of pulls up Issei up from the ground and kind of blushes and says, sorry about tackling you. This is where, well, Issei says, nah, it's fine. This is where, well, Issei says in his head, God, they are so soft. This is where, well, mostly Issei just thinks in his head. Of course, this is where, well, he's not trying to act perverted around Madaka, but gosh, she became so beautiful in his eyes. This is where, well, mostly Madaka says, we should probably be going inside. I will ask someone to kind of come over here and get up the delinquents to bring them to the nurse's office. Let's just go, Issei. This is where she kind of just drags Issei away, and Issei says, okay, I won't do anything wrong again, Madaka-chan. And this is where, well, Madaka says, yeah, I know you're gonna do something crazy. And this is where Issei just grins at her, and yeah. But we go into a time skip of mostly Issei getting to the office of Madaka's. This is where Madaka says, okay, now, time to find your information. Well, not find your information. I want to know why you're in London. That's where Madaka now became serious. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, oh, I'm just here kind of visiting with my brothers. Or mostly one of my brothers being, well, mostly Tego being, well, some with my brother, but it's mostly like, he's a cousin of mine. This is where, well, mostly Madaka nodded. Never heard of that person. Then again, I already met your other two brothers. Izana Karigawa and even Mikey Sano. And I'm going to say, did you just take what's it called, Izano's last name and put it as your last name? This is where Issei says, what? No, that's because we're true blood related brothers. This is where Issei was stuttering. This is where, well, we'll see. Madaka says, whatever. But that's not the point. So wait, what about the hero name? Issei kind of just grit his teeth, kind of narrow his eyes, and this is where, well, Issei says, don't know what you mean. I never heard of that name. This is where Madaka sighs and says, you do realize when you got arrested and I kind of found out by your last name, being truly Issei Hyodo and not Issei Sano. Issei sighs and says, just ignore that name. Why do you have to bring it up anyway? This is where Madaka noticed how Issei was kind of very aggressive with that name. This is where, well, mostly Madaka sighs and says, whatever, fine. What's it called? This is where, well, mostly Issei says, what's called? What's it called? I want to know something from you. Issei says, sure, what is it? Are you... never mind. This is where mostly Madaka was actually going to ask Issei if he's dating anyone. And just to see if she can get a date from Issei. This is where mostly Issei says, okay, weird. This is where Madaka says, okay, so you're just here visiting London, nothing else? Nope. Nothing crazy? Nope. Not going to be fighting thugs? Nope. Not going to be fighting gangsters? Nope. Not going to be fighting Yakuzas. Actually, there's no Yakuzas. There's usually mafias. But not the point. No, Issei said. Why do you think I'm going to be fighting against a lot of criminals? Madaka looks at him in deadpans and says, really? You want me to guess why? Well, let's see. This word, well, mostly Issei sorts up and says, okay, never mind. Okay, I can understand where you can actually get that information and other stuff. This is where, well, Madaka says, good. Now, I want to know, Issei, what about your old school, or mostly your high school, or academy, or whatever the hell it is? Oh, that, I was suspended for, something. This is where Madaka says, okay, wait, you were suspended? So, how long have you been suspended? For 1 month and kind of a couple weeks off, not the point. This is where, well, mostly Madaka just looks at Issei with a very disappointed look and says, seriously? You couldn't not get suspended? Hey. Issei says, hey, before you get angry at me, I didn't get suspended when I was in my 3rd year of middle school. Or even my first year of high school. So don't get mad at me. My 2nd year of high school that I'm still in, got suspended. Do you really want to know the reason why I got suspended? It could be something dumb. You probably fought against someone. You can say I fight against a lot of things, but it was potentially more of murder. Issei started whistling, and this is where Madaka says, what? This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of sees that Madaka shocked, angry, and annoyed, and saying, what do you mean about murder? This is where, well, Issei says, oh, nothing, never mind, just ignore that. This is where Madaka says, no, Issei, look at me. This is where, well, mostly both Issei and Madaka look at each other. Madaka says, what do you mean about murder? This is where, well, Issei says, oh, nothing. It was just an accident. Kinda. I was actually mostly getting shot, so I had to kill the bastard, but not the point. Madaka narrowed her eyes and says, I see. Are you okay? This where he says, I'm fine. It's not like I took 5 bullets to my body, but you know, it's fine. Madaka says, I should have fucking regret to even ask you if you're fine. This is where, well, mostly he says, but I'm fine. Okay. What school do you even go to in Japan? I go to Kuo, that's the town that I used to live in, but mostly the school that I went to is called Kuo Academy. It used to be an all-girls school and now turned into a co-ed. This is where, well, mostly Madaka says, I see. Why the hell did he even enroll in such a school? It was supposed to be a prestigious school about being the mostly good school for mostly education. I was thinking the only reason why I joined is let's not go into those details. Madaka narrowed her eyes and said, Issei? Issei said, well, other than that, it looks like you're doing good in this school. What school is this called? This is where, well, Madaka sighs and says, the Golden Lions. Oh, that's cool. Interesting. But that's not the point. So how have you been, Madaka? This is where, well, Madaka says, since the last time I saw you, since 14 age, I have been doing good. But I also, Issei says, wait, have you missed me? This is where, well, Issei cuts her off. This is where Madaka's face becomes almost red entirely and says, no, I haven't missed you. This is where mostly Issei says, that hurts my heart, Madaka. The fact that you haven't missed me. That's so mean, Madaka. So very, very mean. You know that's so bad. Why haven't you missed me? This room, Issei kind of just like joking around. Madaka's face is blushing because no, she has missed Issei a lot. Has missed his kind of antics and stupid fucking antics to just kind of get into fights. And this is where Madaka says, I have not missed you. This is where Issei says, why Madaka? So sad. Fine. If you have not missed me, fine. I will just lay here and go to sleep and cry to sleep. This is where almost the Issei started kind of just like going down on the ground. This is where Madaka says, hey, don't fall asleep on my ground. This is where almost the Issei says, okay, fine. This is where almost the Issei says, can I sleep on your lap instead? This is where almost the Issei kind of joke, mostly did a joke. Madaka blushes and says, no. This is where, even though she really wants to say yes. This is where almost the Issei says, okay, fine. So, what have you been doing here in the Golden Lions? You know, dealing with school, well, mostly dealing with teenagers and their hormones and other things. Huh. So basically middle school. Yes. But more paperwork and other stuff. Huh. Okay. This is where, well, Madaka says, also, who did you send those files to in your school? This is where, well, he says, no one. This is where Madaka says, Issei? No one. I promise. Issei, look at me. He says, okay, fine. My kaiju. What's her name? What's your email entirely? No, I'm not telling you that email. Because if you do, then if you two start talking, you two are gonna find a way for me not to get kicked out of school. So no. This is where Madaka says, wait, that's your plan? Issei. This is where, well, Issei kind of noticed Madaka's kind of tongue lashing at him. And this is where, well, mostly Issei says, come on, Madaka, it's not that bad. This is where Madaka says, shut up, Issei, for a second. I gotta find her email, I gotta talk to her, and I gotta make sure you stay in school. This is where Issei says, come on, Madaka, you don't need to do this. Just let it happen, let me get suspended. Madaka says, shut up for a second. This is where, well, mostly she's looking through history, but realizes it's all deleted. And this is where, well, she growls at Issei, and Issei says, I didn't do anything. Madaka says, oh really? Why can't I find her email in the history? He says, I have no clue. I have no clue. This is where Madaka growls and says, Issei, you did something. He says, no, I haven't. I really haven't. Really? You haven't done anything. Okay, fine, I believe you. Really? No. Okay, fine. This is where Madaka just growls at Issei and says, whatever. It's time for us to kind of get towards us calm. Well, mostly, she keeps just looking around and trying to find it, and this is where she then gives up and growls at Issei and says, God dang it, Issei, why do you have to be difficult? Issei says, what, wasn't I always difficult in middle school? She growls and says, shut up for a second. Issei says, oh, come on, you can't just tell me to shut up when you always loved me being so difficult. Issei said in a very sarcastic kind of tone, which made mostly Madaka blush and say, shut up already. This is where mostly Issei says, fine. So, where are we going then? This is where Issei gets up and this is where Madaka says, we are not going anywhere until, well, I find all your school documents and see your record history from, well, not your middle school history. This is where Issei said, oh, come on, Madaka. There's no need to find, well, my now kind of history. We gotta look at my back time history. This is where, well, mostly Madaka growls and says, shush up, Issei. This is where Issei kind of just gulps and says, fine. This is where, well, Madaka says, we're not going anywhere. You sit here and don't do anything stupid, okay? This is where, well, Madaka was kind of just looking at her kind of paperwork and just keeps looking up just in case Issei disappears. Because she actually does remember in middle school, if every time she doesn't pay attention for either like 5 minutes from Issei, mostly he would disappear somehow. He would just somehow just like do a Zoro and just be gone. Just where, well, she gets annoyed half the time just to deal with Issei kind of disappearing most of the time. She then went back to look down at her paperwork, and this is where, well, Issei was about to kind of get up until Madaka says, sit down, Issei. Issei said, oh, come on, I wasn't even doing anything. Can I just go to a bathroom? Madaka looks up and says, fine, then let's go to the bathroom. This is where she said, I sit by myself, I'm a dude. Wait, have you actually got to talk about mostly anything from your parents? This is where Madaka says, I know what to talk about, and yes, I already got to talk. I just gotta make sure that you don't disappear. Issei says, so are you gonna go into the bathroom and actually kind of unzip my pants also by yourself? just to make sure that I don't escape? Madaka says, no, of course not. This is where she becomes red entirely, and actually had dirty thoughts also. And this is where, well, we'll see, Issei said, okay, fine. This is where, well, mostly Madaka is paying attention to Issei, and this is where, well, Issei was going to the normal rushing of the guys until mostly Madaka says, Issei, go to the one that's in the teachers. This is where, well, Issei said, but isn't those are for teachers? Madaka says, yeah, but there's no windows in there. That's where, well, mostly Issei said, fine. He kind of tries to open the door, and the door was locked. Issei says, see, locked. Madaka sighs and says, fine, go to the guys, don't do anything crazy. If you do anything crazy, I would chase you down. This is where, well, mostly, Issei says, sheesh. It's like you're sounding like you're going to try to, well, what's it called? Keep me on a fucking leash. I wish I could get a leash, but that would be kind of wrong for me to do. Was it where, well, Madaka kind of just glares at Issei. He says, it's fine, I'm going to the bathroom. Issei kind of goes in the bathroom, uses it, texts his brother for him to save him or someone, because God, this is going to suck. But of course he comes back out and decides not to worry Madaka anymore. So yeah, this is where Madaka says, huh, you can actually be trustworthy. This is where Issei says, I can always be trustworthy, Madaka. Why do you believe that I can never be trustworthy? Madaka says, let me think. I wonder why. Could it be because, I don't know, middle school you not that trustworthy? This is where Issei says, wow, I can't believe you have a grudge just because of my middle school self. What did I ever do to you? This is where almost Madaka growls at him and says, what haven't you done to me? This is where almost Issei said, I haven't done anything. This is where, well, we'll see. Mostly, we go into a time skip of kind of going back to the, well, mostly the office. Of course, where, well, mostly Issei is just kind of asking if he can get a Chromebook or something, which Madaka does give him a Chromebook and just says, do whatever, and don't disappear from my sight. Issei says, fine, I'm not gonna do that. Now, of course, we go into mostly, time skip of basically almost the entire day being over. Of course, it's now lunchtime, and this is where, well, mostly Issei is sweat dropping his sign, and this is where, well, Issei says, can I get food? And then Madaka says, Issei, I'll let you go get food at the cafeteria if you also give me something, but do not escape. God, I feel like I gotta keep telling you this because I can't just let you just like disappear from my sight, okay? This is where, well, mostly Issei said, oh my God, I'm not a kid. I'm not a little kid, Madaka. Why do you keep thinking I'm still a little kid? Because in middle school you still act like a little kid? This is where, well, mostly Issei starts and says, okay, fine. This is where, well, mostly Madaka says, wait, no, I should call someone to actually take you there so you don't escape. This is where, well, she then decides to text someone to kind of come to the office. And this is where that someone came to the office, and it was a girl with whitish hair and kind of bluish eyes. But yeah. She also had kind of palish skin, and of course, this is where, well, she did kind of had like a scar on her kind of right eye. And this is where, well, she says, yes, Madaka, do you need something? This is where Madaka says, yes, Weiss, can you kind of like bring here Issei to the cafeteria? This is where, well, Madaka says, I still need to do paperwork, so can you please? This is where, well, Weiss says, sure. Wait, did you say Issei? This is where mostly Madaka says, yeah, why? This is where mostly Weiss says, never mind. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of sighs, and of course he has met this girl, so yeah, that's the thing. Of course, this is where, well, mostly Weiss is kind of taking Issei to the cafeteria and just kind of keeps looking back to see Issei. Issei says, why do you keep looking at me? This is where Weiss says, you were the guy that was at the airport, weren't you? This is where, well, mostly Issei says, yeah. How are you in the school and why aren't you wearing the uniform? Issei said, about that, Madaka's keeping me here so I don't do anything crazy in London. And how, what do you mean? This is where, well, Issei said, oh, you know, not get into fights, not to get into this, and yeah. This is where, well, Weiss says, are you the guy in the video that was kind of put on the website that you beat up the delinquents? This is where she says, oh, no, they got easily taken out by the wind. This is where, well, Issei started whistling. This is where Weiss right now pulls out her phone and shows it to Issei, and Issei says, God damn, someone recorded me. Shit. Should have put on the hood. Fuck. I even have a hood on. What the? This is where Issei says, I'm an idiot. No, that wasn't me. This is where, well, Weiss says, really? Because the hairlines on your head does kind of, almost the hair on your head kind of looks the same like his. So tell me, were you the one to fight them? This is where, well, he says, okay, fine. What's it to you anyway? This is where, well, Weiss was kind of just smiling at Issei and says, oh, nothing. I'm just kind of happy that you defeated those delinquents. It took a while to even get them, well, mostly to stop messing with other girls or guys or any of that. We are kind of a public, somewhat public private school, but yet Madaka wants to kind of be public. So of course, this is why the delinquents can still show up. Not many, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei says, you do realize I'm also a delinquent. Middle school delinquent, I was with Madaka. I did cause her a lot of trouble, but at the same time, I didn't cause her too much trouble. The only trouble I caused her was mostly me fighting the other delinquent in our middle school, so yeah. This is where Weiss says, wait. Oh, I know who you are. You're the green dragon. The one that Madaka always talked about. She talked about that kind of in the beginning of the year about mostly someone always helping her out and when middle school. Of course, we kind of wonder in what type of middle school that she went to. But she told us about the middle school and how much it was a trouble, it was in pain, and this is actually less troublesome to deal with that many delinquents, like 30 at least. But of course, she talked about how she needs to deal with armies of delinquents, and you were always the one to help her. Issei said, wait, Madaka talked about me? This is where Issei was shocked. This is where, well, mostly, Weiss says, yeah, don't you talk about her in your school? Issei says, not really many people know about her, so of course, I really didn't think I should talk about her too much. I just wanted to kind of not try to remember the past until I had it to remember, and I had it to become back a delinquent. But not the point. And this is where, well, mostly, Issei said, other than that, I didn't know she talked about me so much. What did she say before? Like, did she tell me that I was too much of a bad influence on kids? This is where Weiss says, no, that wasn't the case or any of that. She just said to, if you're going to be somewhat of a hero, not try to kind of endanger yourself, because she did talk about how you endanger yourself a lot in mostly fighting against delinquents. Issei swatched up and said, what? No, I never did anything like that. He started whistling and walking away. This is where mostly Weiss says, you're going the wrong way to go to the lunchroom, the cafeteria. This is where almost Issei says, oh, sorry, gotta keep walking. This is where, well, I'm following you mostly. This is where mostly Weiss says, yeah. This is where, well, they get to the cafeteria, and a lot of people turn around to see Weiss and even the guy who actually fought against the delinquents. Everyone was silent. But for right now, I'm gonna leave it off here for part 15. Part 16 will actually come out later because I gotta go pick up someone, mostly my little sibling, because, well, I gotta go. But other than that, bye, saying yeah. But yeah, other than that, bye.